We are in the shadow of the state capitol in Columbia, South Carolina at Motor Supply, and I'm speaking with Wes Fulmer, who's the executive chef here. Wes, you started off in South Carolina, I think.
I did.
And traveled around.
I did. I wanted to see what else was out there, and you know, like a lot of people, I was like, I'll never ever return, but here I am. So.
And I think what's particularly important is that you grew up in prosperity and had grandparents who farmed, and you've come back to a restaurant that really was one of the very first that embraced using local ingredients and celebrating the local growers.
We try to give the love out and make sure that we're doing the right things. And, a lot of people have followed suit, and I think we're a really good place, not only for Motor Supply, but the whole restaurant scene in Columbia.
And how does that direct the recipes and the presentations that you come up with? I mean, are things pretty much distinct, and so you really have the flavor of the finest possible quality ingredients?
My whole philosophy at Motor Supply is to let simplicity shine. We don't want to mask that ingredient, and so we take what we have and we try to I try to take a historical take on it, you know, and go back to when they had this, or when people would grow up and stuff like that. When I grew up, the memories I have of cooking this stuff, you know, and it's great. It gives me a chance to actually put a little bit of my personality on the plate. And with the team that I have here in the kitchen, they follow suit, and we can come up with some great stuff.
And you know, it's amazing because the foods that are the South Carolina comfort foods, the things that we have, really go together beautifully.
Oh, absolutely.
And so let's talk about the way that you've combined some of those and the things that you've prepared today.
Absolutely. Starting with this pork chop.
A pork chop, boy, it's South Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, and you can't have a pork chop without having the bone in it, right? So this is from our friends, Carolina Heritage Farms. Gray Moore, he pasture raises all of his pork, all heritage breeds. And I want a pork chop that I don't have to brine. Yeah. You know, I want to taste the true flavor of that pork, and this is a product that I can do that with.
Pasture raised.
Absolutely. And also with this dish, you have the blue corn hominy, which is from Ken Dubard, Congaree Milling Company. He does it for us and does a great job with this non-GMO corn that he uses to make that with.
And this is kind of the old big hominy that we used to hear about.
Oh yeah. It's not the little.
Looks almost like real kernels of corn.
Right. It's not the big white fluffy balls.
Yeah.
So beside that, the accompaniment is the Cider Braised local greens, which in this case is Watsonia kale, and then just top it off with a little bit of watermelon preserves, and we do like a little coffee red eye jus to go around it. It's pretty much a hock stock that we use into coffee to fortify with it.
So I mean, this is really just as traditional a meal as you would find in South Carolina, but you have elevated the ingredients because you found the people who take growing them to an art form. And
Absolutely.
And you're combining them in an artful way.
Yeah, and we're trying to give respect, homage back to the farmer too, because they work really hard. They work harder than we do.
They work hard.
And so it's it's hot out there.
We're sitting on your beautiful patio, and today's a nice fall day, but
yeah.
They're out there not in the shade.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're out there every day of the summer. Well, let's move over to this one that looks more like a piece of beef.
It is a piece of beef. It's grass-fed tenderloin from Westridge Farms, Adam Frick, in Newberry County, so right up the road.
Well, Newberry is that's a place for cows.
Oh, yeah, it is. I think they're the largest dairy producer in the state.
And beef cows too.
Oh yeah, and it's awesome, and it's great working with somebody like Adam because he's so enthusiastic about his beef and everything, and he calls me up here. Give me a call. It's like, hey, I'm taking some cows to processor, and it's like, all right, I'll take what you got.
And it looks like I see some butter beans and some other things over there.
Absolutely, we got a little bit of field peas there. It's called a field pea ragu with some blistered tomatoes. We got some beautiful Cabin Branch Farms, which is a farm and all organic farm in Lugoff. Got some bok choy from there, and got some little bit of corn pudding up underneath.
Now that sounds fun. I want to hear a little bit more about that corn pudding.
The corn pudding. So basically, what we do, we take the corn and we'll put it in what I call a Vita Prep or a mixer, and we'll juice it pretty much. And strain it, and then so it's raw. And when we're ready to cook it, we'll pour it into a pan, add a little bit of butter to it, and it activates the starches and just poofs up into like a pudding consistency. It's really, really good. It was something that I took a hold of, and we use it a lot here during the corn season.
So even though you're a traditionalist, you don't mind having a little bit of fun and putting a few twists on things.
Oh, I absolutely not, absolutely not. You know, not that much. I wouldn't call it molecular gastronomy or anything like that, but it just takes a little bit of thinking about it.
Well, and giving something that we're accustomed to a slightly different slant, but without camouflaging it.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It wouldn't be a South Carolina restaurant if you didn't have seafood on the menu. So what was your choice for today?
What we have is stone bass or wreck fish, as they call it. It's a lot like grouper, but it's a very popular fish here in South Carolina. It comes from Cherry Point Pier near Rockville and on Watermelon Island. And I got over a little bed of Nat Bradford's okra, radish, and some local squash, and on top of Carolina Gold rice grits with a little bit of gremolata.
Now tell me what Carolina Gold rice grits are.
Well, it's the Carolina Gold Midlands rice that we get here, and we'll grind it down to very, very fine, almost like a powder or a flour almost, and then we will cook it up, almost like risotto that you would, and then it has a consistency of grits when it's ready to go. So.
And you cook the fish rather simply.
Absolutely, it's just a pan roast, a little bit of butter, of course, and salt and pepper.
And the nice thing about serving it over the rice grits is that they're going to have a milder flavor than a corn grits, and so it won't compete so much. So the two flavors are just going to blend together beautifully. Yeah,
absolutely. It's another example of just trying to make the ingredient shine. So.
Now you have a beautiful bar and someone who says that he's inspired to be creative by the wonderful things that you do, and I think he's made a beautiful cocktail for us.
Oh man, Josh Streetman, yeah, he can get behind the bar and shake, let's say. So basically what he's prepared for you today is take on a mint julep, a blackberry mint julep, and he did it snow cone style. He has one of these ice shavers back there, and he gets it going, and so yeah, well, it's a treat.
Mint juleps are one of my favorite, and he's done it in such a beautiful way. There are no fingerprints on it, but that no fingerprint is going to change quickly because I can't wait to have a sip. Well, if people want to know more about Motor Supply and the people who y'all connect with across the state of South Carolina and right over the borders, what's the best way to get information on y'all, Wes?
Well, you can go to our website at motorsupplycobistro.com. We have a great website on there, award-winning website to be precise. Also, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Motor Supply.
Well, I think that it's time for us to ask the waiter to bring us a plate or two, and maybe we can sample some of these wonderful creations that you've prepared for us.
Let's do it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I'm going to dig in.
Sure, go right ahead.
Here's to the chef.
Yep.
Oh, Wes, this is just wonderful.
Thank you, thank you.